Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala is in court on these particular proceedings, and she joins us now. Nqobile, good morning to you. So the state intent on opposing bail, just explain to us what the reasons are.
Well, yes, Koli, it is in fact the NPA made it clear that they are looking into opposing bail. This is mainly because the suspects are facing charges with Schedule 6. And you know that those are quite hectic charges, things like kidnapping, which is one of the things that are highlighted, as well as murder and attempted murder. So the state's then looking into opposing bail on that. But also just talking about the fact that it is difficult to deal with such. You will remember that Diepsloot is faced with quite a lot of crime issues, so it's very important for them to look into what really happened. Last time we were here, we know that there was an identity parade that was still to be done by the police, hence why the media was not even allowed to go inside, because we do understand that they had a witness which was supposed to be the one that's pointing out who exactly was part of that alleged mob justice. So you would understand then why it's so important for the NPA then to oppose bail, just to ensure also that that witness is protected. But of course we are going to hear that bail hearing, which is expected to start just after 9 at court 2. But I do want to bring in the leaders, because Koli, despite the state seeing this as something that is quite heavy and very difficult, the people on the ground has felt that these are some of their leaders. They believe that they're innocent and that they are going to support them. And when we were here last time, they did make it clear that they were going home to mobilize so that they have more numbers. So I want to bring in one of the community leaders in that area to speak to us. And I mean, I understand that when you were here last time, you said you were going to mobilize. Have the people responded to that mobilizations of supporting some of these leaders that are going to be facing court today?
Yes, Nqobile, the community of Diepsloot, as I'm speaking now, they are on their way. We managed to mobilize all extensions of Diepsloot. And then as I'm talking to you now, 4 taxis and 1 bus, they are coming to support our arrested community members here in the Randburg Magistrate Court. We engage the community. Members of the community managed to raise money for transportation. No one is financing us from political organizations or anyone. It's the community that managed to raise these finances.
And why does the community still think that these leaders, that they're innocent?
Well, it's puzzling. Even the community are saying it's puzzling to say, in the case of mob justice, many people were involved. They alleged many people were involved, but only 5 people have been arrested. It's quite shocking to be facing that kind of a situation. And then we don't know what kind of analysis the police used to arrest those who arrested the suspects. Then, as we've heard even yesterday, General Mawala on the media saying they are criminals. Some of them, they are leaders in the community. They've been at the forefront of fighting for this community. So what the General was saying yesterday, it's absurd to say our community leaders, our community members who are fighting against crime are criminals themselves. And then what I'll say is that one of the community members who was arrested in court was found with was smoking ganja. It's a long time ago, before this laws of this, to say you can smoke in your home. So the General cannot use that old case to say one of the suspects is a criminal. It's highly absurd. It's a political statement. We don't understand what the General is trying to say. As even now, yesterday, I received news that there were gunshots in extension 12 and 13. We don't know who was shooting, who was robbed, because we had to wake up and rush to court. We couldn't even attend to the gunshot that we heard yesterday night. It is highly difficult.
But I think when you speak about the General, he also highlighted that there's issues in terms of the leaders in the community, that you find that the CPF that doesn't want to fall under the police and basically stick to the laws, and hence why he feels that even the mob justice in itself was unlawful, because it's not something that's supposed to happen.
Honestly, the CPF of Diepsloot has been politicized. I'm not a member of the CPF, but I'm a community leader. The CPF exists only at the CPF board, where they engage with the police management in our local community. Few extensions, they have a proper functioning CPF. Mostly, people are contesting to be leaders of the CPF, but they are not implementing what they're supposed to be doing. So that's why we find the community in a certain extension, like extension 1. They'll mobilize themselves, patrol their streets during the night, because the CPF is politicized. We're going to say it. It is not serving the purpose that's supposed to be done. But I have the CPF chairperson, Mr. Mile. He works with the community very well. But the other structures coming down, it is bad. Even on my street, the person who's leading the CPF has been there since the formation of Diepsloot. There's no meeting, there's nothing, there's no patrol. They are only involved in addressing housing matters. When someone goes to them and say, I have a criminal case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, they won't attend unless you give them something. That's the gist of the matter. Our CPF is not functional. It's functioning at the top. But in our streets, in our community, it's not functional at all.
All right. And, I mean, we understand that some of the charges include kidnapping, attempted murder, and murder. Those are hectic charges. Does the community still feel like it must support the community leaders and not necessarily the families that are affected?
We are supporting the suspects who are arrested. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty by the court of law. We are using that. We know our community members. We trust them. We understand them. Even the family members, some of them, they understand what happened. One of the victims who was killed in Extension 13, I saw the father. The father stated it clearly that he has received complaint about his son and is not going to blame the community. He understands. There's a problem in our community. There's a problem with our police officers and government officials. When an alleged criminal is being killed or murdered in the community, they come always and want to paint a bleak picture and castigate our community. They don't follow the matters thoroughly and investigate. That's what's happening. It is always there in Diepsloot. It is normal.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. Well, community member there, Oli, speaking to us about what's happening in Diepsloot. And again, the community is still feeling that those that are going to be on the dock today are innocent until they're proven guilty. They are some of the leaders. And what he's alluding to, of course, is alluding to the fact that what happened was yesterday when General Elias Mawela had a briefing, he did explain that some of the people that are arrested here are also seem to be doing some criminal activities on the ground in Diepsloot, and of course that becomes a major issue. And you'll remember that they're trying to come up with a plan in terms of how that's going to be addressed. And of course the community leaders, community is arriving as we speak. So those are some of the community members coming in and just singing. But just to remind you, they're saying that they are coming up with a plan which requires a collaborated effort. And you will understand that one of the issues that they have highlighted is that it's very difficult to get into Diepsloot. This is mainly because of the spacious planning of the area. You understand that there are some of illegal some of the housing there that is informal encirclement, and that becomes a major issue, of course, for the police to go in because there is no structure, there are no roads, and this makes it hard for police to be able to control. So those are some of the things, and they were calling in on human settlement to also come in and work on that. And this is why the collaborated efforts becomes a major thing that is being highlighted as government says all forces must come and work together, including Home Affairs. And you'll remember that one of the highlighted things is that over 2,000 illegal immigrants have been arrested in Diepsloot. And we have heard as well from the leaders that these are some of the issues that they're faced with. That some people will do crime on the ground, but they cannot be traced. And these are some of the issues that they've highlighted that needs to be attended to.
Nqobile Madlala live for us outside the Randburg Magistrate's Court there, reflecting on this particular case that is about to be heard of the 5 people accused of the mob justice that was handed out to the alleged perpetrators of crime in Diepsloot.